What's happening, y'all? This is Mike D with Black Fathers Now, where we're bringing the village to the brothers. Every couple of weeks, you can look forward to a quick inspirational message or a thought-provoking guest with knowledge and wisdom, all geared towards helping you be the best father that you can be. We're bringing the village to you. Now it's your turn to do something with what you learned. All right, y'all. Let's go. What's going on, fellas? This is Mike D with Black Fathers Now. Now, when we talk about remarkable stories, that's exactly what we're going to talk about here today. I'm just going to give you a little snippet about what we're going to hear. Tipping the scales at 346 pounds with high blood pressure and being borderline diabetic didn't persuade Robert to change his lifestyle. It wasn't until January 2013 when a close friend who was of the same age died of health-related problems with being severely overweight. Then he made the decision to adopt a healthy lifestyle, foregoing all lose weight quick schemes. Now, fast forward till now. Down 140 pounds is an accomplishment that he doesn't take lightly. But he also knows that there's no finish line when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle. So with his new love affair with perfect health and all, it inspired him or moved him to create Brix Fitness. Fellas, and I know there's some ladies listening too, but fellas, let's welcome my man Robert Glover to Black Fathers Now. What's up, Chief?
What's going on, brother? Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate this.
No doubt, my man. Now, we definitely have to kind of walk through your story, but I mean, first off, tell us a little bit more about who you are, man. You know, like where you're from, your family and all that kind of stuff. Give us a little bit, kind of fill in the gaps from your intro.
Yeah, like you said, my name is Robert Brix Glover. Brix is a childhood nickname. Mm-hmm. I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I moved here to Norfolk, Virginia, several years ago to attend college. Mm-hmm. I graduated college with my psychology degree in 17? Yeah. 2011.
Okay.
2011, and I kind of been here ever since. I have two kids. My son is 9 years old, and my daughter, she just turned 11 a few days ago.
Awesome.
Time is, it seems like yesterday they were just born, man. Like, I can't believe I have a preteen. This is...
You blink, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's happening too fast. But I'm a full-time fitness professional. Mm-hmm. I guess turned what they call social media influencer, I guess. I don't like titles, man, but...
It is what it is, though, man.
We gotta keep the lights on, brother.
That's it. I dig it.
But yeah, man, I'm just passionate about life. I'm passionate about making impact on other people's lives. I'm passionate about sharing my story in hopes that it inspires people, man. So that's why I jumped on this opportunity, man. So if I can share my story with another audience and possibly affect someone else's lives, I'm all about that.
My brother, hey, look at here, man. Just the whole notion of 346, dropping 140 pounds, but doing it the right way and sustaining it, that's the hook in itself. But we're going to dive into that. But first, man, let's take it back, man. Like, you said all of this started around January 2013.
Yeah.
And so my whole thing would be let's go back to December 2012, or even before that, man, 346 pounds. Like, and even before that, like, what... Was that something, were you always a big kid, or did life events kind of lead you to that? I mean, talk to us, man. Take us back to that moment.
I always was what they call big boned.
Yeah. Black folks know what you're talking about. You ain't got to, look, no explanation needed, brother.
Exactly. I was big boned or big boned.
Big boned, heavy structured.
Exactly. But I was never overweight. Per se, I played sports. I always played. I played football. I played basketball in high school. I was always athletic, but it wasn't until I graduated college and got married and got a full-time job. Not even graduating college. I was in college when the weight started piling on. First, it started with that freshman 15.
15.
It's supposed to be 15, but it was like 50 for
15,
me.
not 15.
Yeah, 50. Yeah, 50. It was supposed to. Typically, it's 1-5, but for me, it was 50.
50.
Yeah, and then I got married. I was really young. I had kids young. I was working 40 plus hours a week, taking 18 credits in school. I was stressed. I was busy. Not to say it was an excuse, man, but I got comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I was dealing with depression and all types of family issues. And I looked up and I had ballooned, man, from probably, I went to college in 2002. So from 2002 to 2000, to over that 10-year span, I gained probably 140 pounds.
Wow. So actually, growing up, like you said, you're thick, but it was one of those kind of things where you really put on the weight that last decade prior to the change.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely wasn't obese or even heavy set until my adulthood.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's just basically just lifestyle, pretty much.
Absolutely. I stopped being active. Once I got to college. After freshman year, I didn't really play sports anymore. I didn't really work out. I never really worked out per se consistently, but I did play basketball. That was my exercise. So after I stopped playing basketball, and I started working a lot, and I used to stress eat. Yeah, so one thing led to another. With the increased calories and the decreased activity.
Yep.
That it just piled on. I'm like a lot of people. I was addicted to food. And in a stressful life, it was that one place I can go to for that temporary, I guess, fix of what I perceived as happiness.
Wow.
So over the years, that just piled on me, man. The next thing you know, 100 pounds later, I was. My heaviest is actually 360.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, it's interesting. You think about the weight, and sometimes we can think about life, and this is kind of like a metaphor. You know what I'm saying? In the sense that, we kind of get in a routine and we never pay attention. We don't come up for air, and then the stuff piles on us over the years. So, you think about like stress. You think about even somebody in like a dead end job or something, or in a dead end relationship or whatever. It's just like you keep your head down. You're not really doing a lot of self-evaluations because you think about it. You were a brother who literally, like you said, you put on 100 and some odd pounds over a decade. So that's something that you would notice if you were paying attention to it. You know what I'm saying? But you kind of kept your head down and life took over. And I think for so many of us, that's something that that hooks us. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of different areas, not just health, but in a lot of aspects.
Absolutely. I agree. I was in a toxic relationship. I was, but more than anything, I was in a toxic relationship with myself, which made every relationship I was in toxic. So my head was definitely in a hole, and just like you described, bro. I looked up and I had gained all this weight.
Man, what was crazy is you said toxic relationship with myself. It's something that I've been kind of meditating on recently, and it's the whole notion of, we can be by ourselves, but rarely do we spend time with ourselves. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you're by yourself, you're just alone. But when you spend time with yourself, you get to know who you are. It's kind of like when you're in a relationship, like with my wife. When I'm just here, I'm just here. But when I'm spending time with her, I'm learning her. I'm understanding her little idiosyncrasies. I'm understanding all of that. We do that with people we're in relationship with, but rarely do they do that with ourselves.
With ourselves, yes. I agree.
Wow.
I agree.
Wow. And so to that point, we kind of fast forward. Like we kind of, you mentioned in January 2013, you lost a close friend, to health-related issues. So was the straw that broke the camel's back for you? That was like
that kind of started it. That was the first thing that led to me starting to even think about taking it serious. It was a few things that happened after that, because really the light bulb went off for me. It was March.
Okay.
2013. So it took, I was recently divorced. I had gotten into some trouble with the law, and I literally, you know, fell flat on my face in life. I lost my job. I lost my apartment. I lost my brand new car. I was literally humbled, man, that the rug was pulled from underneath my feet. And, the point of my life that I had worked all my life to get to, I literally fell all the way backwards, from the point. So I was in a really dark place, and fitness was kind of the most aggressive action I can take to take control of my life. And that's kind of where it all started. That's when I found fitness. I just needed to take control of my life somehow. And I was looking for the most drastic way to do that.
Wow. So the most drastic way that you could pretty much grab the bull by the horns was the fitness.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is fascinating.
A lot of the issues, was because I didn't like myself. I wasn't confident. I had a lot of insecurities. I had a lot of just issues, man, that fitness over the years kind of have helped me resolve. So in retrospect, it was definitely a good area to attack, the issues of my life.
Now, and I guess now thinking about that, like what made, because, some people go in different routes. Like some people, dive into like, their spiritual growth, or some people dive into something else, or some people dive into fitness. Some people dive into work or an entrepreneurial. They find something to take up their time, but it's what spawned fitness to be that? You know what I'm saying? Like, was it something? Was it some person, somebody? What was it?
It was a gumbo of a lot of things, man. It was definitely my friend passing away. That was already in the back of my mind. I went to the doctor. She was very frank with me, telling me that if I continued on this path, I would die. My children, me wanting to be around for my children. My son is an athlete, so I was looking ahead at 10 years from now. I need to be able to train with him when he's one of the top college prospects in the country. I need to be able to train with him. I thought about that. I wanted to fix my self-image issues. So that had a big part of it. It was a lot of things, man, but it quickly turned from a weight loss journey to just a overall personal development journey.
That's big.
Which, that view on it is the reason why I feel like I was able to sustain it, because it quickly turned from just weight loss. It wasn't just about weight loss after a few months. It became, like I said, about just becoming a better version of myself.
Brother, that's deep, and you touched on something that I think a lot of people miss in the whole scheme of making any type of change, right? You have to make it bigger than that actual thing that you're doing.
Absolutely. Your why is everything.
That's right.
What's fueling you, determines, how far you're going to take it. So it became personal development. So, because my next question was going to be like, once you started that change, you mentioned that, the whole yo-yo fad diet stuff was out the window, and you really established sustainable change, and you've maintained it. And so to that point, the crux of it all was the notion that you switched it from weight loss and physical development to personal development to remedy the self-image and the whole premise that you had like a toxic relationship with yourself. With myself, yes.
Wow. Personal development. So, fellas, when y'all are listening to this type of story, and when you think about making monumental changes in life, sometimes you have to look beyond the carrot that's dangling in front of you and look at the why. Go deeper. I heard something one time, and it was basically said, once you understand your why, then you can effectively apply. So It's like once you understand your why, you can effectively apply, right? So until you understand your why, it's not going to have any stickiness to it.
Exactly.
Oh, my man. And so you mentioned your two kids, and so the whole premise of dropping 140 pounds and them being around to see this journey, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What? I mean, because, my kids, I have a 6 and a 4-year-old. And so if I mess around and, I'm halfway bald, like it doesn't grow on the top, I got to shave this. Don't laugh at me, man.
No,
But
no, no.
I'm playing at you, bro.
I'm getting it, brother.
I see you.
I'm getting it.
Yeah. Look, we're follically challenged. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly.
but no, it's funny. Like if I don't cut my hair or something, my little kids will point out, little things like that. Or if there's a booger hanging out my nose, they're gonna sit there and point at it for an hour. You lose 140 pounds, man. How does that impact your kids? And like, what was their response? And how did they deal with this journey of dad going from 300 and some odd pounds to this fitness model now? What's the deal, man?
Fitness model. It was one of those things that really kept me focused. It was knowing that my kids were looking at me and me wanting to set a great example for them. I mean, obviously, it was about. So I've had the weight off for about 3 years now. So my kids were they were younger, but they still remember. Well, my daughter does, especially. She still remembers me being overweight, and let's just say they're a lot more health conscious than the average 9 in is. But it meant everything to me to transform in front of their eyes and for them to see me putting the work in and for them to see me being resilient, because we didn't even get to the part where I gained back 60 pounds, 50 pounds, 3 and 4 separate times.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. So just showing them, me overcoming and me just not just changing physically, but changing mentally and just who I am as a person. Like my daughter, she's very smart. She's very aware of all of this. So just to be an example and instead of just being words, it means a lot, to me.
It really touched me right there. You said it meant everything for me to have my kids see me transform in front of their eyes.
Yes. Like
that's powerful. It's like the whole notion of I know that they're watching me transform into something else. It's kind of like, I'm turning into Superman in the phone booth. You know what I'm saying? And my kids are actually watching that process take place. Because when you think about, and like I said, this is Black Fathers Now. So it's all about, bringing wisdom, insight, and information to brothers, man, to be the best fathers that they can be. And when I think about that particular scenario, it literally sends chills up my spine to think about how we can grow and how we can position our kids to see this growth and how that impacts and influences them. Because, as you know, with kids, rarely do they do everything that they're told, but they almost always repeat everything that they see.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm like, you will never find a more optimistic person than me. Mm-hmm. I believe if I have a goal to get to the moon, I'm going to get there. And it's very powerful for me to be able to not, because everyone tells their kid, yes, you can do anything you want to do. Yes, I tell them the same thing, but at the same time, I discuss with them my goals. I discuss with them my visions for my life, and I'm not just telling them that. I'm showing them. I'm stepping out there on faith. They're seeing me. I've had to have discussions with my kids. Like, listen, Daddy's an entrepreneur. Daddy doesn't have a paycheck like your mom and your stepdad does. So no, we can't do certain things on the weekends at this time. So like I've had that conversation with them, real life, people to person conversations, and they've seen my financial status change. They've seen, me achieve certain milestones that we sat down, 6 to 8 months ago and discussed. They're seeing me do this, and that means so much to me because I didn't have that. I didn't have that example. I didn't have that person, that not just said things, but it like I said, it just means a lot to me that it's not just things I'm telling them. I'm actually showing them, and like you said, I know that's going to stick with them way more than just the words would.
And do you like you just mentioned? I just caught something. You said that you didn't have that example for somebody to show you that. Do you think that is because a lot of times we think about what really drives people. Like for me, the whole concept of Black Fathers Now, I grew up and, my father was in the home and my mother and everything was there, but we had some different situations growing up, so we had some very, very, very profound scenarios that impacted my life that made me understand what it's like to not necessarily have the right example at certain times in your life. And so to that point, it makes me see things from a different perspective, but then also to show my kids, the way to do things, to show them by example the way to do things so that they can have everything that's necessary to be all that they can be in life. And so when we think about what drives us, you just mentioned that you didn't have that example. Do you think that is something that's that extra fire, that extra grit to be that example for yours so that they have what potentially, I guess, you didn't have?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that scenario plays out one of two ways.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we either repeat it
mm-hmm.
or we take the fuel from the pain that we experience from that and change the cycle, break the cycle.
Mm.
And I think that definitely fuels me because I know what it's like to feel neglected or to not have proper guidance or not to feel love, or like I know what that's like, and I wouldn't wish that on no one, especially I'm not going to allow my own kids to experience that. So it definitely fueled me. It definitely gave me the grit to get through what I had to get through in order to be, the best dad that I can be.
And I'm going to tell you, man, and what's so powerful about your story is that you're also not stopping there. You've taken it a step further. It's commendable to do it for yourself. It's expected for us to do it for our kids and our spouse, our immediate family. But it's admirable, that's probably the right word, admirable, when you take it a step further and inspire the world with your story. You open up and let people see the scars and, expose your story to the world with hopes of inspiring them and creating a platform that allows them to have this transformation, or at least have the inspiration to this transformation. So you've created Brix Fitness. And I guess, tell us about that and, the inspiration to go from just your journey to now, taking other people through that particular journey as well.
See, and that question is like, it's so many angles I can, address that. But
let it flow, bro.
I really, I'm getting goosebumps.
Uh-huh.
I really feel like God is, I'm a spiritual person.
I am too. Oh man, okay. I'm 100%. God is in the middle of this, brother. Go ahead.
Okay, great. I really feel like God handpicked me to use as a vessel, right? The weight is just one small facet of the resistance or just the experiences that I've had in my life. Like I've had a really challenging life. And lived a lot of things that I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to. Different people. And I feel like it's a mission, man. Like the way that this whole thing unfolded on March 1st, 2013, when that light bulb, went off, and I woke up with this fire in me. I feel like it was placed there. It was placed there, and I feel like I was pulled through this whole ordeal. You know how sometimes you feel like you have to push to get to something?
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a push through. It felt more like I was being pulled. And I hope that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I feel like God pulled me through this entire journey, physically, mentally, spiritually, and now it's my responsibility. I feel like it's my responsibility. I don't even feel like my life is my own anymore.
It's not your own.
It's not, and I feel like the blessings, the holes that God, the dark places that God has pulled me out of, I now owe to share that with people. I know what it's like to feel isolated in my problems. I know what it's like to feel like I'm the only one going through this, and when I hear from someone else like they went through the same thing, it gives me this magical hope. Like, wow, it's not just me. So to be able to do that for people, nothing feels better than that. And I take pride in being transparent. I take pride in being 100% open and honest about every aspect of my life, because I just know there's so many people who can benefit from just hearing my story.
And I'm gonna tell you, it's amazing, man. Like you hit on so many things right there that it's one of my favorite books of all time. It's called The Alchemist. I don't know if you've ever read The Alchemist.
I just read it for the third time. Today, for the third time.
Look at that. And so to that point, you started pursuing your personal legend, and the book says the universe, but we know it's God helps you along your journey. And so Absolutely. To that point, it's just like you started pursuing your personal legend, and he started helping you along. And one thing I'll touch on, you said he pulled, past tense, he's pulling. He's pulling because bro, you're not done yet. And what's so, and I'll tell you, like you mentioned all the things that you've been through. Today on Facebook I posted this verse. Like during the week I'll post verses or whatever and give like a little synopsis. And it's funny you mentioned that, because the verse that I posted today was from Judges 7:2, and it says, "The Lord said, Gideon, your army is too big. I cannot let you win with this many soldiers. The Israelites would think that they had won the battle all by themselves and that I didn't have anything to do with it." So long story short, he said that your army's too big, so we got to reduce the size of your army so people don't think that it was them that did it, so that they know it was me that did it. So you had to go through all of this stuff, this miraculous 140-pound weight loss, dealing with the stuff, like you said, things throughout life, all these things, so that you know that it ain't you. It ain't just you. It ain't just you. We mentioned grit earlier, but grit's just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's just a part of,
Even grit was given to me.
That's right.
That's a blessing. That's not something I can take credit for developing. So when people tell me, "Oh, I hope you stay humble," and I'm like, bro, there's no reason for me to never ever not be humble, because I am not doing anything. All
it ain't me.
Was granted to me. This is all me being used.
There you go.
God, that's all. So I'm just a lucky bystander in this whole situation. I'm blessed to be chosen and to be given the energy and to be given, the platform and the audience, and all of this stuff is just these are tools that are given to me by God to do His work. That's all this is.
Well, brother, you keep using that work, man. Keep using it. Keep using those tools. And I mean, speaking of the tools, Brix Fitness. Tell us a little bit about Brix Fitness, man. Like, I mean, the website, I checked it out, the different plans, and all. Talk to us a little bit about what you got going on. What is Brix Fitness?
Okay, Brix Fitness is my fitness brand. I started off as a one-on-one personal trainer, but those hours were a little outrageous, and I was missing my kids' sporting events and my daughter's plays, and I had to do something about that, because that's not the life that I wanted to live, So right. I formulated a plan that was going to give me some more freedom, and that was the key for me. My vision for Brix Fitness and where it is today started with just the vision of being able to. I love traveling and I love spending time with my family. So I decided to build an online coaching business. And if this was before I even thought about YouTube, I wanted to find a way for me to, get a successful online coaching business off the ground. So I figured YouTube would be a good platform to invest some energy into developing some presence so that I can get some clients. So that's all YouTube started off for me as, like I said, it was just something for me to try to get some clients for my online coaching business. So now, I have about 50 online coaching clients.
Oh, wow.
I sell meal plans. I sell like merch, like, T-shirts. And I recently just started working with with brands, and things are starting to really pick up for me, man. And it's all a blessing, bro. But Brix Fitness is essentially, the goal is to help change people from the inside out. So my coaching is more so about the mindset coaching aspect. You can go online and find, weight loss, nutrition plans and fitness plans anywhere. But my thing is, like, I try to set people up for success by making sure that they have the right mental approach when it comes to weight loss.
That's awesome. And so basically, you're teaching what you ultimately learned, that it's not about weight loss, it's about personal development.
Absolutely.
And so if you, like you said, you want to change people or help them to transform from the inside out, because when you start inside, that bad boy stays, right?
Exactly.
That is awesome. Now, and you also, I mentioned the whole fitness model thing because I was also scrolling through IG and I saw, did you do some fitness you did some competitions too, didn't you?
Oh yeah. That was one of my goals, man. It's crazy because we're working on a documentary, because from March 1st, 2013, I started chronicling everything via video. So I had this hard drive full of old videos, my first workouts. Every week or so, I would stand in front of the camera and turn around, and I would do videos where I was talking about how what I was going through mentally, physically, emotionally. So we're currently compiling all this footage together, and we're putting together a documentary. But one of the things that I stated from the beginning as a goal was I wanted to do a fitness competition. I wanted to do a physique competition, because that was going to be, I guess, the proverbial, I don't know how you say that word, finish line. That was going to be the finish line for me. So it was just a goal. I wanted to touch the stage, and so the last 6 months, well, when I got with the producer, the dude who's doing the documentary, how we finished the documentary was he chronicled me preparing for the show. So yeah, that's how the show came about. I did a show last year. It was in May in Baltimore, Maryland, I think it was. And yeah, I didn't place or anything like that, man. But that wasn't the goal.
But you did it. You did it.
Exactly.
You did it, man. Now, as far as the documentary, is it still in production, or any word on when that's popping, or what?
Yeah, he's on tour with Jazzy Jeff, the guy who's doing it. He's busy, so we're kind of just chipping away at it. But I know the timing will be divine, just like everything else.
That's it. Get out of your own way and stay out of your own way, right?
Exactly.
That's it, brother. Well, man, I'm not going to keep you much longer, man. Just two last things. Well, the first, that brother that's out there that's dealing with a health challenge, or it doesn't even have to be a health challenge, because you've actually identified the core to actual change and transformation. What's a solid piece of advice that you would give to that brother that's out there dealing with something that he needs to change right now?
For anyone that needs, and if we're talking about weight, if we're talking about financial situations, first and foremost, I think the most powerful tool that I've used is faith, and also just living with strategy. I never lived with strategy before. I kind of just walked around blindly. So develop a strategy, and definitely have faith that things will work out. I feel like if your energy is in the right place and your faith is in God, and I know how cliche that sounds, and that's a real macro answer, but
but it's real.
Yeah, that
is real.
That's it for me. And I'm trying to answer it in a way that can apply to anyone in any situation.
No, man, just be truthful. You're what you've put out there. Folks will have the intellect to be able to pull out there. Just throw it, brother. You don't have to try to make it fit anything. Say it like you want to.
Yeah, man. I mean, but simply stated, man. Like I said, just to have faith. Educate yourself on whatever it is that you need to overcome. Knowledge helps you with your decision making, and ultimately your life is just a compilation of your decisions. So, educate yourself. We live in an age where anything is possible, and that's not even just a cliche anymore. Anything's possible. We have access to resources that people we didn't have. Our parents didn't have.
We didn't have 10 years ago.
Exactly. So just hustle. And like I said, make sure your energy is in the right place. Make sure your priorities are straight. And make sure your faith is in whoever your spiritual leader is, and things will work out as long as you're putting in the work. You know, that's my biggest thing. Just make sure you're putting in the work and you're doing the right work.
Put in the work and make sure you're doing the right work.
Yes.
Dig that, fellas. Now check this out, man. How can the fellas? I know some ladies listening too. How can folks get in touch with you, my man? What's the best way to do so?
I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube under Brix Fitness, Brix Fitness. I'm on Twitter as well, and BrixFitness.com.
Bet. Brix Fitness on every social media platform, BrixFitness.com. Brix Fitness on YouTube. Y'all check him out. I'm going to have the information in the show notes. And y'all definitely check him out, man, and let him know you heard about him on Black Fathers Now. Shoot him a message. Shoot him a DM. Check out some of his stuff. Look at what he has going on. I mean, the brother is amazing, and his journey is amazing, and it's meant to inspire all of you. You all can learn something, whether you need to lose weight or you just need to personally transform what you got going on. Take a look at my man, Robert Brix Glover, and learn a little something.
Thank you. I appreciate those words, man.
No doubt, man. And I appreciate you for taking time out of your busy schedule, man. If there's anything going forward that I or, the Black Fathers Now family can do for you, man, you don't hesitate to reach out because we got your back, brother.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you, bro.
No doubt. Now, fellas, as always, y'all follow Black Fathers Now on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Visit blackfathersnow.com. Definitely subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher, or any podcast platform that you listen to. Leave a rating, and definitely just leave a rating. We love comments. We love ratings. And this episode is being brought to you by Black Family Apparel, blackfamilyapparel.com. Grab some dope apparel that celebrates the black family. And until next time, fellas, be blessed, well, and wise. And I'll holler at you. Peace. Yo, fellas, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And always visit blackfathersnow.com, as well as follow Black Fathers Now on virtually every social media platform you can think of. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Just follow us and engage with us, man. Look forward to hearing from you. And I guess until next time, I'll holler at you. Peace.